I am Natasha Hastings, still hoarse from all the cheerings and things. This is my co-host, Corey Carter, and we're bringing the culture to track and field.
Track girl summer, track girl summer. What I really hope is that at this point, people who are watching, who've been watching for days, do the clap with us. Hopefully that's what you guys are doing.
Hopefully.
Someone said, what a day, and it
What
is.
a day. We're going to get into it.
Someone said they are doing it. Yes!
So follow me, Natasha Hastings, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the things. Follow the Corey Monster. Follow the Corey Monster, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. Follow World's Greatest, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter.
And follow my dog, the Kobu Monster, on Instagram because he's the cutest and he deserves to be a star.
Since we're doing shout outs, today is my son's 2nd birthday. So give my son a birthday shout out. We're going to go to the water park later on and have some fun. But yeah, let's get into it. We have been streaming every day.
Follow Track Girl Summer on all the things, and also World's Greatest on all the things. Continue.
We've been coming to you every day. Today is day 11. We've got 2 more days, tomorrow and Sunday. Hope you all have been having a great time with us. We have been enjoying. We tied, but when the camera goes on, we come to life. And we enjoy being here with you. But, we bring the shenanigans. We bring awesome athletes. Somebody came in the comments and said, how y'all have athletes every day?
Look, we the plug. Everyone likes us. Everyone wants to get on Track Girl Summer. No, we actually just I feel like over the years, we've been able to cultivate some really good friendships. Mm-hmm. And shout out to all our friends who are willing to support us in this crazy endeavor of ours and come on and share. I was saying yesterday, I feel like they share things that I haven't seen in interviews before. Yeah. So.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
We love you. We can save it for the show. But we will be joined by some more guests today to talk about them, but also talk about the amazing things happening on the track. Of course, Mommy Allison. Mommy does it again. She does it again.
I'm gonna save it because y'all already know.
We're gonna go over.
I'm not gonna save it. Allison Michelle Felix Ferguson is the greatest track athlete of all time. And if you have a problem with that statement, come find me because okay.
I bet Jackie would beg to differ.
Jackie Joyner Kersee is also the greatest athlete of all time.
Y'all know I gotta stir the pot. But anyway. We'll be going over our 4x1 predictions and what actually happened on the track this morning. And then we will be also doing our 4x4 predictions in the Hustle Clean Podium Prediction segment of our show. So we will be joined by none other than more great friends of ours, Whitney Ashley and Eric Kennard. They're here to spill the tea, talk about them, tell us what they got going on, all the things. Last bit of housekeeping, if we post a tweet on the screen and there's a play button, push that play button so that you can check it out. And without further ado.
And most importantly, Cecilia is here and she is on time.
Cecilia.
But right now, let's get into the fit check. Today I was like, let's be classy. I'm gonna look like I made Natasha wear a dress with me because I never wear dresses, so I wasn't about to wear a dress by myself. But she's looking like a lady. Is she one? She's a beast.
Like a sexy lady.
Thank you. And then just something slight on the shoes, I wasn't about to. Yesterday I tried on Natasha's heels and that was a mistake.
She tried on some red bottoms and I had to give her a class, but it's
Aisha said she almost forgot about the show. How could you, Aisha? How could you?
How could you? I'm just a little baby doll dress, cheetah print, mom shoes again. So yeah.
And let's get it Ollie Pop Poppin'. You have root beer today, but there was one.
I love root beer, so.
There was one orange squeeze left, and I just wanted to have something fruity. Should I start off my day? So let's get it Ollie Pop Popping. And we can start.
Shout out to everybody. I see y'all joining the chat. Thanks for coming in. I haven't said it since we've been on this platform, but share, bring some folks, come one, come all.
I was thinking for our Sunday show that we hey, can I be honest? We thought tomorrow was the last day of our coverage, so we have a great finale planned, and then we realized we have another date. But I think we should do where we let people come on. We have the capabilities. We should just let people come on and talk to us. I feel like
that might be a dope
starting
finale.
with Cecilia.
Yeah.
And 2 more days of Olympic coverage. We're gonna be moving forward. We'll tell you guys about our plans after the Olympics.
We got some Olympians that we're gonna try to catch up with, have them tell us their experiences in Tokyo. Because we don't just have friends that aren't in Tokyo. We got friends that are there, but we wanted to let them do their thing. And now that the games are over, or when the games are over, they'll come and share their experiences. So don't worry, we're not leaving y'all. We're gonna take a little break, but we're not leaving y'all.
When are we gonna have parents day on the show? My dad.
That would be cute.
It would be cute, but dad's not gonna enjoy summer. We were wrong. We were wrong about these 4x1. Well, about the men's 4x1. I started with the men's 4x1.
Okay.
Because Italy.
It's so funny.
I want to do this.
Yeah, they were walking out on the track, and I was like, Italy's been having a good Olympics, but
in the sprints,
yeah. And I was like, but I don't know, do they have 4 legs to get on the podium? Well, baby,
they have 4 legs to get the gold
on top of the podium. Okay,
they walked down Nathaniel, and who is not one to play with.
No, but I got to be honest. In the prelims, Nathaniel did not look that great. So, and I mean, no, y'all know I'm not trying to sit on this couch and be disrespectful to anyone. But I was not impressed with how Nathaniel looked. So I wasn't that shocked, but it was still a nail biter because it came down to the line. Mm-hmm. Great Britain, or Italy, excuse me, won in 37.50, which is a new national record. And Great Britain was in 37.51. It
came down to a lean. Dip. Who's been doing their bench presses had a little bit more pecs pop on out to get across the line first, because it comes from the chest.
Right.
So
shout out to Italy. They add yet another gold medal to their medal count. And Andre does it again. First of all, let me give respect to all 4 legs, because Canada, they
ran really well. Like their first handoff was a little shaky. But
something happened to slow down their stick, because they were out for a while, but DeGrasse finds his way to the podium yet again. So DeGrasse goes home with 3 medals. Canada takes home the bronze in 37.70. And then China was 4th.
Bianca's right. She was wrong. It was their time on the podium. But they ran a national record, so shout out to China. Because you want to know whose handoffs were efficient and perfect? China's. Okay.
China.
So I'm gonna have some gelato today for Italy, or for me.
Well, I got reason to celebrate. It's all about once this camera goes off, it's Liam's day. So we're gonna have gelato, cake, all the things. But yeah, in Italy's name, in celebration of Italy, sure.
Oh, we can't play that video. That's okay. And then in the women's 4x1, I'm gonna give it to you. You and Tyson are right.
We called that thing perfectly.
Although I didn't want it because I want the world record to stay with the U.S., but I wanted to witness a world record being broken. I like watching fast times.
I'm happy with the
It was still a fast time.
Yeah.
But I just thought with the legs that they had.
But I'm also happy with the record staying with Team USA. I mean, yesterday I was on here talking about give the rest of the world their credit. We got to get out of this, just because we don't win, we didn't do well. But I'm still biased.
Yeah.
And I still want us to win, and I still want us to keep that world record. So I'm grateful that the world record is still standing, but nonetheless, it was
a national record for Jamaica. Mm-hmm. They went Brianna Williams to Lane Thompson to Shelly-Ann Price. They put Shelly on that curve to Sharika, and the United States came back with 41-45. we were right about the personnel. They went JVN to Tiana to Janet Prandina to Gabrielle Thomas. We thought that maybe we should have moved some.
Switch the straightaways,
But what I realized when they were walking out, I was said JVN and Tiana already ran those legs, and they were. It made sense to keep the sticks
consistency with the lack
so
of
you only had
practice.
2 different handoffs, not 3 new handoffs.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
Mhm.
I still
It was safe. It was safe.
It was safe.
But they got the job done. And
Yeah.
that's really what matters. And happy to see them run a gutsy, strong. Like you could tell the girls went out there.
Can you talk about Gabby's finish? Because she was trying to walk down Sharika.
Man, listen, Gabby get their handoff slowed down a bit. It did look like Gabby had to slow down a little bit to make sure that she got the stick in. And that we kind of talked about that as well. That one of the pressures of the many pressures in running the relay, you're especially on that last leg, like you're not only looking at your incoming runner, but you're also looking at the other team. And so you have to be patient to wait for that time for you to go, but you're also anxious about
keeping that stick moving.
keeping that stick moving.
And accelerating.
Not accelerating, not being too far behind. And I think Gabby just wanted to go for it. And so I think she might have taken out a little bit too early and had to slow down a bit. But nonetheless, we still get a silver medal. And the ladies did a fantastic job bringing some more hardware home.
And I would just like to say, 3rd place, Great Britain. They ran 41.88, and Dina Asher-Smith, like she had to pull out of her individual races due to hamstring injuries, was able to get it together. And no, you have hamstring injuries, and they put you on the curve. She ran a hell of a 3rd leg.
She did,
and she put it. I feel like she was so unselfish and to say, I'm going to take some time off and not run the 200 for myself individually to give my girls a chance.
Mhm.
And that is a true team player. And when we talk about track is not a team sport, and I feel like a lot of us track because we don't want to be on teams. I like, if I lose, I want to because I lost, not because someone else. And the relays is your one chance to really sacrifice for someone else. And
yeah,
amazing performance by Dina, and amazing ponytail by Dina too. That ponytail. You know,
don't forget about the ponytail.
The ponytail looked good, Dina, along with them cheese buns. Also, we were also right with the 4x1. We were on
the women's 4x1.
Yes, because we also said, I said that I thought the Swiss was going to get 4th, and the Swiss got 4th, and y'all said Germany was going to get 4th, and they got 5th. So we kind of know something.
A little something.
Yeah, that was some great relay races.
It was exciting to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Women's 400.
Let me just put my drink down.
Women's 400. First of all, to get into this final, you had to run 49. 50 Point did not make it into the final. So we knew that this final was going to be a hot one. Shaunae Miller-Rebo defended her championship. And
she's the 3rd athlete to ever do this. Second woman.
3rd athlete to ever do this. Second woman to defend her title. In
over 400 meters.
48:36. Marilady Paulino set a national record for the Dominican Republic in 49:20, and then
she's been having a great Olympic Games.
Yeah, she set 3 national records in this meet.
She's PBing peaking at the right time.
And then lastly, this one is gonna.
And then lastly, Allison Michelle Felix, like 49-46. She ran a season best. This is her 10th Olympic medal. She's the most decorated female track and field athlete of all time. The GOAT. Is that what GOAT say? Okay. All right.
What was that?
The GOAT.
Oh man, Allison does it again. Allison,
I think this is either her 19th or 20th major championship medal. This is the thing about, they say don't meet your heroes because they'll let you down. Allison Felix has never let me down once. She's better than the hype. She is an amazing mom. She's out here running for Cammie. She raised me. She's the reason why I'm the athlete I am today, because she really taught me how to be a professional athlete. And to anyone who and she out here running in her own shoes for her own company because she's a boss. No other athlete can say that.
No.
You might have some custom spikes, but do you have a custom company? Not
the baby goat sipping the McDonald's.
I'm about to ship Allison some hay so she can just eat.
Is that what
I want to see?
Is it hay?
They actually go to anything they want. Just like she eats up this competition. She eats up anyone she wants. They eat cans, they eat everything.
Cecilia, great comment. That ends we know who the fourth leg on the floor is.
Allison Ray.
Period. I also want to go back and give credit where, in the rounds it was talked about. Sorry,
Bird just
a
fell.
bird just flew into my window.
Because the bird wanted to get in on talking about Allison Felix too.
But in the rounds, apparently the commentators spent a little bit too much time talking about Miller Weibo's 2016 performance, and I just want to give Miller Weibo her flowers because I feel like her moment in 2016 was really taken from her, and I think now is the time that she really gets to say, not only did I do it once, I did it twice. I always tell the story. Start off by saying, if Miller Weibo was disqualified in 16, I get the bronze medal, so I have the most to gain out of her being disqualified. But I think she just ran the race of her life to come back 5 years later, 48:36, a new national record.
In that pink hair.
In that pink hair. She came out and Corey was like, oh, she means business.
When I saw the pink wig, I said, y'all girls got some problems.
And so I want to make sure that Miller Weibo gets her flowers. Congratulations. You are already a part of history, but solidifying your stamp in history, doing it against a tough field. I know going up against Allison Felix had to be, and I'm going to be a little biased. I wonder what the race would have been like if Allison wasn't in 9 or, in one of those inside lanes. But, it is what it is. Oh, and great point, Tamika. Bahamas takes home both the gold in the women's and 400. We're so focused on, we didn't even catch that. Yes. So congratulations to the Bahamas and congratulations to the Dominican Republic. Great showing by Paulino, another young rising talent. I believe she's only 19. She's pretty young, so she's got a good future ahead of her as well. So just overall exciting.
I know you're going to try to wrap me up on talking, but basically I might go live later today and we can just talk about how amazing Allison is because there's so much and we don't have time to cover it all. And for time's sake, I'm going to stop talking about Allison.
Are you?
No, but I'm just very proud of my friend. She got the job done.
And she more than got the job
for
done.
Cammie, Mommy Magic, and
without even getting into it, I don't know how many 5-time Olympians
20 years she's been doing this thing, and 20 years she's been on top.
Without even getting into the medal count, 5 times. And every time she's gone, she comes home with hardware.
And I said this earlier, it's something about her neck décolletage area, her clavicle, it just looks so good with a medal. Like Allison's neck structure is just it's really accented by a medal. And speaking of Mommy Magic, I wanted to shout out Quanera Hayes. I think she didn't have the best race, but I think it took so much to get into that final and her journey for becoming a mother. And
she's got an incredible story as well.
Did you know she didn't see her baby for
it was a while because her baby was
months.
In the Bahamas.
It was weeks
when
or
the
months.
Pandemic started. It was months.
It was months, and she could not see her child because her child went for a little trip to see her family,
his grandparents. Yeah.
And she could, I was talking to her, and she's like, "I'm trying to get on a boat. I'm trying to get on a plane." Like she could not get to her son.
Listen, I can't swim. I would have been swimming across the ocean.
And when your kid is that age,
they're impressionable.
Not only impressionable, but there's so many milestones that they're hitting, and that she's missing.
Yeah.
So Quanera had a hell of a year.
I watched her post about that on social media, and I could not imagine. I am the definition of a helicopter mom, and I'm proud of it. But again, stuck to it, didn't miss a beat, although I'm sure she did, because none of us know any of their true stories behind closed doors. Everyone has their journey and everyone has their things that they have to get through, but I cannot imagine keeping the fortitude and the focus
without having your child,
not
knowing when you're going to see your child. There's a difference between I'm not with my child, but I'm going to see them in X many days and I can do a countdown. It's I don't know when I'm going to have access to my kid, and it's not, he's a teenager, he's 16. you're learning your
He's even
words. You're
so
saying,
young. I mean, like Liam was with his dad for the month of June, and I saw him for the weekend before trials. And I literally was like, Liam turns 2 today. He's 2 today. But I literally was like, oh my God, is he gonna remember me? Is he gonna forget me?
yeah.
Like the crazy things that as a mom you think, and he was even younger then. But
Oh,
shout outs to the mommies holding it down, Quinera, Allison.
I'm
We're
so in
so
awe.
proud of you
So
all.
in awe.
Go Team USA. Go bring home some more hardware in that 4x4.
Yes. Um, and Connor's just like the sweetest,
She is the
kindest
sweetest.
soul.
Mhm.
Let's talk about this women 15.
Man, Safan went for it,
She did. She led from the
which was
start.
surprising because I'm used to seeing Safan kind of sit back and then just take over at the end. But she went for it, and now in hindsight, I mean, I feel like she knew she had to because this one wasn't going to be an easy one.
Yes. And we talk about we were talking about how she had that amazing kick in the 5K, but I'm like, sprinting past 5K girls, no
It's a
shade, 5
lot
girls,
different,
is
and
a different type of speed than kicking with 1500 girls. And we
yep.
saw that at the end. Faith Kipyoung from Kenya just was like, deuces, I'm out. I'm going to go get my gold. She ran 3:53:11. And Muir, I told you she looked good at Monaco when she ran that 8. She also had the foot speed at the end to bring it out. So Laura from Great Britain ran 3:54:50 to get silver, and Hassan still got him another medal. She has a chance to get another. She's just been working
She's
this
still
whole.
doing the triple.
She's working this. I was asking Natasha, I want to add up how many laps she's done this Olympics.
Because the thing is, like
in this heat,
and every event, like the 15 had 3 rounds,
mm-hmm.
the 5K and the 10K.
The 5K has 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
And the
10K is 10K a straight final.
I'll have to double check. I feel like it's just a straight final. Yeah. I'm like 98% sure it's just a straight final.
It's been a long week, y'all.
So that was an exciting race. And we saw Corey McGee didn't do. I need to double check what place she got. But Corey McGee was in the final. We talked about how she 10K is straight final. We talked about how she fell in the semi, so they put her in retroactively. I'm trying to where's the results? Here we go. I didn't write that down. Yeah, Corey got 12th. Eleanor got 10th. But yeah, it was a great final. They went 2:07 for the 800.
2:07.
I can't run 2:07. I probably could run 2:07, but that's still very fast to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
In the women javelin, Shi Ying Lu from China won with 66:34. I mean, she had it in the bag from her third
throw. It's okay.
I keep trying to say flow.
It was a tongue twister.
She had it in the bag. And we were talking about, she was going for her 6th throw, and she knows she's won. She was celebrating after the second to last person through her. And we were trying to talk about would you try to go all out, or would you just Natasha's talking about I'm done, got my medal. Unless you're going for
unless I was like Ryan Krauser, where it's every throw is farther and an Olympic record or a world record, then, but if they look cute, get my medal.
I think I would just be I don't have to work. If I foul, I foul, I won. So I can really just all out, see what happens. Yeah. Marie Andrzejczyk from Poland. Poland in the throws have been killing it this Olympics. 64:61. Kelsey LaBarber from Australia. She got a season best of 64:56 in the javelin. So great throwing all around from the ladies. Let me just double check. I gave you Maggie Malone from US got 10th with 59:82. This 5K was really good as well. Mm-hmm. Joshua Cheptegei from Uganda, he won with a 12:58:15. Shout out to Mo from Canada, Bowerman Track Club. He was 6th with a lap to go, and he just went out. And we saw him fall short in the 5K. And today he was like, I am getting a medal. So shout out to Mo. He trains in Oregon, and he ran a season best to get himself on the podium. And Paul Chelimo, I love me some Paul Jr.
I love Paul too.
Yes.
Paul is a great guy.
He ran a season best of 12:59:17 to get the bronze. Fisher, he also did the 10K. He ended up ninth. And William Kincaid got 11th with a season best. So good.
You just be moving fast. It's okay.
I know. Sorry, friend. Yeah, shout out to Paul. Shout out to I feel like Grant's really gonna come like give him a few years. I feel he's going to be that dude when it comes to the long distance.
Yeah.
I really see that for him because he is a force to be reckoned with, and he's still very young, and he's from Stanford, so special place in my
That's
heart.
what it is. I must be getting some money, y'all. My hand is scratching me.
Yeah. Well, send a black woman some money. Maybe that's what it is.
My Cash App, is that what it is?
Yeah. And then in the men's 50K race watch, David Tamaloa from Poland got first, Jonathan Hilbert from Germany got second, and Evan Dunphy I like Dunphy. If you guys are Office fans, from Canada got third. The U.S. actually didn't have any competitors, but I just wanted to shout out John Nunn because John Nunn has been a race walker for Team USA forever, and people don't know this. I don't know how he gets the ingredients and finds an oven, but it doesn't matter where we are in the world. He makes the best chocolate chip cookies for Team USA.
Yeah.
So
I shout out to dads. We give moms all the love, but the cookie business he actually started with his daughter, and they came up with the recipes together, and the cookies were really
they're bomb.
Good. Really good.
Yeah, I always have to like wait for myself to be done with competitions, but then you would go into the athletic training room, and there would be like fresh hot cookies. Mm-hmm. So shout out to John Nunn. I feel like
they would have to be like, okay, y'all, make sure everybody gets some. Don't just take. Yeah, it would be that bad.
So we love our race walkers. I feel like they don't get as much love as they should. If you don't know about race walking, you always have to have a foot on the ground when you're walking.
I had some friends. If y'all don't know, I play bingo every Friday. The Panini. I'm in a virtual bingo group, and so they talk about the Olympics. And there were two things that came up. They were like dressage. I hope I'm saying that right. The horses that dance, and then race walk. They were like, "Yo, I had no idea." Like you could walk that fast. I was like, it's not really walking. They're running. They're just, but yeah, it's like you're in contact with the ground at all times. You only get like one or two missteps before.
Why is my dad here? I'm sorry, continue. I just read a comment of his. Continue.
You only get one or two missteps out of the entire 20K or 50K, and you are disqualified. So it's about keeping contact with the ground and also making sure that your heel and foot. It's truly an art.
It's a lot of hips. It's a lot of hips.
It's an art.
And on the women's side, the 20K race walk, Antonella Palmiciano from Italia. Shout out to Italy.
Italy's having an amazing Olympics.
First. Sandra Arenas from Colombia got second, and Hong Lu from China got third. And we did have a woman race walker, Robin Stevens. She got 33rd from the US. So you talk about the world has us on the race walk, but I feel like they always have had us on the race walk.
Shout out to them in these hot conditions. Like that was one of the things they kept talking the race walk, that like these conditions are not favorable for these athletes, but when you train for a moment for so long, nothing's going to stop you. So shout out to the athletes holding it down. So that concludes what was on the track last night and this morning. Corey and I actually kind of got a break a little bit last night where we just got to watch the race walk.
And then I went to bed.
I went to bed early. Listen.
Is Whitney in the chat? We're waiting on Whitney to come in.
Okay.
But
so
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
so we talk about, Allison's out here, and every other commercial she's saying, like, I'm out here running for Cami, I'm running for women. Like, what is, I feel like a lot of athletes are like, this is my purpose on the track. What do you run for?
I run for my baby. I mean,
what did you run for before than that?
Well, I've always said that my why always changes, and
Mhm.
that's one of the things that, like, year after year, you have to check in with what your why is.
Mhm.
Some years it was proving to myself that I could just do it. Going from not making the team in 2012 to turning around and becoming US champ, like, I had to prove to myself that, like, I deserve to be out here, you
Mhm.
know? Um, then it went to, surpassing that and, like, trying to get on the podium individually. There
Mhm.
was also a point in my career before 2012 where I only made the team as a relay member. So, here she is. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi,
Good
hi, friend.
morning.
Good morning.
We'll get back. Well,
Not important.
it's not. I mean, it is important.
No,
What
come
you
on.
do is important. Why you run is important. But Whitney is here. Before we start talking to you, I gotta tell people who you are. So
Wait,
Whitney
but it's okay.
is one of our best discus throwers in the U.S. She's actually made 4 world teams. Like she stays on a team. She is from San Diego State, and actually, you are NCAA champion, and you were like the first person San Diego State to win in that event, and also like from like 19 some. Well, I had this down.
1984.
Huh?
1984. First NCAA
19.
championship.
I had this down in my notes. I think Natasha did something.
I didn't touch a thing in the
She's a
notes today.
2016 Olympian and an amazing thrower. She has the best, probably one of the best TikTok in track and field. And welcome, Whitney. So
Thanks
gorgeous.
for having me.
Thanks for being here. I feel like we were talking on like we've been a little sprint hurdles heavy when it comes to our guests, and I was like, we got to have more throwers, more jumpers on
We got to show everybody love.
because we are track fans, and I'm a big fan of you. How did you start throwing? Is I want to know first and foremost. And discus of all.
I come from an athletic family, and so when we were coming up, my mom just kind of put us in as many sports as possible. She was a volleyball coach by the time I was born, and she used to take us on walks at night. She was a believer that she got to keep her kids moving. I hate to use the word chunky, but she was one of those moms like, my kids will not be chunky. We did not eat junk food, so we would walk the track at night. And one night at our local college, we actually saw a whole bunch of kids in like uniform lines, like doing drills. And she was like, this is where I need my kids at. And lo and behold, it was a youth track team. Corey may be familiar, Team World in Riverside.
Yes. Shout out to the IE.
Yes.
My
and
dad
in
probably
the car.
My dad knows everyone's like in the areas, like their whole.
Yes. So that's kind of how that happened. She put us all on the track team. My brothers one by one fell off, but I continued to enjoy it. I actually threw the shot put. And so from that day forward, from 10 years old to San Diego State, I threw the shot put. That's kind of what paid for school and got me through life, aside from basketball. I could have been a dual athlete either way. So pretty cool. Yeah.
So when did you switch to the discus then? And I also have a question. Since you are a discus thrower, do you do this when you were throwing the shot? Were you spinning or were you gliding? I assumed you were
was a
spinning.
glider. That's a great question. Look at you. I was a glider.
I was a glider as well. Shout out to Glide Team. I was
Shout out
good
to Glide. Yes,
So,
I was a glider. I didn't learn the discus till I got to college.
Well, I need to know what the difference is. Because I've heard the language.
so gliding,
I want
Bring it.
tell me.
you're gonna step back here, and then you're gonna turn. You're gonna turn, move the hips,
It's in the
and
hips.
then here.
Everything's in the hips.
I had a coach. My shot put coach was my hurdle coach. Everything was somehow related to hurdling, and then spinning. I don't know how to spin. You can, but you spin. You turn it, twirl.
You know, my bottoms are
I'll show it again.
They're very bunnish. We'll go with that. They're very bunnish at the bottom. So we're just gonna roll.
Zoom.
Some videos later on. We can tap back into that. But yeah.
I always think throwers are some of the most graceful human beings on the track because you guys have to be large to throw whatever you're throwing. But then you get in these tiny little rings and have to feel like a ballerina and make sure you don't out of it so you don't get out, which I find amazing. So you started throwing discus in college. We got off track.
Yes. My first year learning the discus, I became an All-American. My second year, I won an NCAA title.
Okay, excellent.
And I kind of just stuck with it. That's really how it happened. I thought I was going to go off and do public relations. That was my major in journalism. Track and field for me just to get school paid for. I had no passion, didn't watch it, and that's really all she wrote. My college coach at the time told me it's something you should pursue. He said you have your whole life to work. He
Mhm.
said, but you have a small window of opportunity to be an athlete, and I held on to that. And here we are, 8 years later, 3 world championships and an Olympic team, just off talent, really, and just listening to my coaches.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, we were kind of talking about yesterday parents pushing their kids too early, and I think your story is a testament to be like she started this event in college and became an Olympian. Like, but you had the tools because you said you played basketball, you did shot put, like you had the tools. You're an athlete first, and then you
Yes.
specialized much later, and you found what you were meant to do much later, and it worked out for you
But
clearly.
also, I like to, because I always put the charge on parents as well, and talking about your mom being a volleyball coach, and but also embracing the importance of our kids being active and healthy.
Mhm.
But it sounds like she was like, I'm not going to push you to do what you don't want to do. I'm going to let you
Right.
find or let the sport find you. And I think that mom, because I'm biased to moms, but shout out to mom for allowing you to, have your own journey and let things find you. So sorry, I
I
just
won't downplay her. Once I got to high school, she actually went to conferences and read books and coached me all the way to college because I didn't have a coach. So
Wow,
my mom taught me how to throw the shot put. Yeah,
wow,
for Team World. Yeah.
wow. And I don't want you to get on
Not
our
small.
show. I don't want you to get on our show and lie, Brittany, because you said you have a passion. You were, and I understand before you probably didn't have a passion for the sport and you weren't watching. But I read you watch 3 hours of slow motion videos a day to analyze your technique.
When
I
I
don't even like.
first,
I
when
don't do that.
when I first learned to throw, so I'm trying to find this quote. Every time I do an interview, people ask me that because they're like, there's no way. My first 2 years of learning how to spin, I became obsessed. After I won NCAA title, I go, well, if I'm going to listen to my coach and he thinks that I can do something with this, let me learn. Let me go look up. That's when I started to do my research. Who was great? Who does my body type kind of align with? Because I'm not a big girl and I'm not super tall. A lot of these discus women, 6'3", 6'4", you've seen these wingspans. I'm only 5'8", and I didn't start lifting heavy until I went professional. Very weak. I was just quick and I had long levers. So I would just sit and watch YouTube videos, not trying to copy, but just trying to learn how to move. I just wanted to understand, but I stopped that literally like after my first 2 years of being professional. I do not watch video anymore.
I
So
mean,
not an updated, not an
but
updated path.
so that's if you're doing 3 hours a day times 365 days times 2, like
that's still a lot.
that's close to you're getting
It's a
close to
lot.
the 6,000 hours to becoming an expert. You just crash coursed it.
But I want to also backtrack to the 5'8" thing because we've been
That's
talking
my
about
dream
that.
height.
The height thing, but also I thought you were taller than that. So,
Every time.
like, Corey says that she didn't. I'm 5'8 3/4. And Corey's like, I thought you were much taller than that. It's because we have a presence
You definitely
that we
do.
just seem bigger than, I
Yeah, me too.
definitely thought you were taller than
Presence.
5'8".
Oh,
Wikipedia, according to Wikipedia, it says
You're
you're
taller
taller. So
what
I
does
don't
it
know.
say?
I don't know. Well,
Aisha,
Aisha,
our fact checker will let us know.
how tall are you
If
really? Ooh, I'll tell you how tall you are.
It says
most
you're
5'10".
5'10", but I thought you were
people think
5'10".
like 5'11", 5'10". Aisha says 5'10", but I'm only 5'8". And when I take my shoes off, people go, "Oh, that's it." I'm like, "Oh, that's it. That's it." Yeah.
So, but I also think that's a testament to, like, I always say, no one would put me in the hurdles given my body type. Like, no one would probably put you in the discus game, but it's like, I really feel like it's the athlete not the body type that's going to determine whether or not you're successful. You work with what you've got,
Mhm.
and you figure out how to like work with what you have to be on top.
Yeah.
I
Um,
love you brought that up because we've definitely come a long way in terms of how we look now as discus throwers. Back in the day, I'm going to say back in the day, these women were much larger in stature. A lot of times now we're built more like sprinters, very lean,
yeah,
very speed oriented. And so it's beautiful to see how far this event has really come. And it's
yeah,
good for women also to see that like you can go either way and be successful. You don't
yeah,
have to be put in this box and oh, I have to gain so much weight. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you need to do to be great, be great. But for some of us, we didn't, the weight gain wasn't necessary. So
yeah. Actually, Val, they have her up on the screen. Val slimmed down
yes,
a lot this year. Like she came
yes,
back
she has.
from summer training, and I saw her in the weight when I was like, Val, you were tiny. Um, but she is tall, but
And really strong. She's taller than me.
she's very strong though. Because I see her and Zion do in the weight room, and I'm just like, all right. She's like benching what I squat. It's crazy. I am not as strong as most people. I talked about your TikTok, and one of the things her TikToks are very entertaining. But one of the things I really love about your TikTok is that you kind of spread this body positivity. You had one where
Mm.
you were kind of showed how good you looked in a bikini, but you were saying this is my squat max, this is my bench press max. Like I am strong and I am beautiful, and I love that. And I think seeing all body types celebrated is very important. And can you just talk about being multiple girls and getting them to love their body?
The first thing I do when I speak to young women is to be honest that I went through that. The whole reason I didn't lift in the beginning of my career is because I didn't want broad shoulders. I didn't want a large back. I didn't want to be a big girl. I was just very afraid to look muscular. All that stuff. And then I grew out of that. I go, you know what? Can I say curse words on here?
Go ahead.
Oh,
No, but yes.
I'm like, you want to keep getting your ass beat, or do you want to like be competitive? And I go, push yourself a little bit. And you know what? Once my thighs starting to thicken out a little bit, I got a little something in the back. I said, this is kind of nice. No, this is nice. And I truly embraced my beauty and just being muscular and being strong, and my confidence shot through the roof just as an individual, not even as an athlete. As an individual, I felt beautiful because I was so strong. And there's so much life in that. Little girls go, oh, and it's relative. I say buff or I say muscular, but I'm still relatively not really. Don't have a lot of definition until I tell people my numbers and they go, wait, what? How's that possible? You don't look like this. And I go, that's the beauty of it. You can, lift all these heavy weights in the gym and your body is just gonna start doing its thing and you'd be surprised. So that's kind of how I approach when I talk to young women. And I would say it's helped. It's inspired a lot of them to go, I tried this and I feel great. And it's empowering.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know or not, that's actually a lot of the inspiration behind my nonprofit, in that I have had and sometimes to this day still have body image issues. And I think that your message is so important. So I'll be calling you to come and talk to the girls now that I know that that's a passion of yours as well.
I love
But
to.
like, to know that like any size is beautiful, first of all.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're women of color taking up this space. But also like I going through high school dealing with like, I didn't have the boobs and the hips that the rest of the girls were getting. I had this athletic body, right? All my life. But like, can you count how many places in the world you've been? The
36 countries before
the
the age of,
relationships,
you know?
the
Yeah.
relationships
Right.
that we've made, the things that we've accomplished, and on top of all of that, we are beautiful, powerful
Yeah.
women. And it's like overall, that is the message that we need to be spreading. So kudos to you for being vulnerable and sharing that, because it's not
Not
an
easy.
easy space
Yeah.
to sit in and be honest. Because we always say that like athletes were these superheroes, but we're human too, and we go through real things. And
Yeah.
to have the bravery to share that. Thank you, sister.
And I'm gonna ask you to be brave one more time, just
Okay.
because I think it's important. We like Natasha. is, going to school. What exactly are you going to school for? Like, you're going to school,
Clinical mental health.
and we talk about mental health and the importance. And I think being vulnerable and brave is something that I can attribute to you, because I don't know why I care so much.
She's been getting really
I've been getting
emo.
emotional. It's like, you guys keep making me not be upset, but you have talked about how the strength to ask for help when you're going through some of your lowest points. And I think a lot of us struggle in silence. And I really want to commend you for saying, hey, like, I went through some dark times and I had to like get therapy and get help, because I wasn't where I needed to be mentally. And I just would love if to whatever you want to talk about on that, like what that journey looked like for you to like getting yourself into like a mentally okay place.
I think we all three of us can relate that the highs of track and field, there's nothing like it. But the lows
Mm.
will take you places that you go, how do I get out of there? How did I get here? And what am I supposed to do while I'm here?
Mhm.
Um, and I experienced that for the first time after that wave. So I made 4 consecutive teams in a row. I was on fire 13 to 17. In my mind, I was like, I was never not going to make a team. And then I had to make a coaching change and everything shifted. I actually self coached for a year before I moved to Kansas from California. And it's just been bumpy ever since. Nothing has ever really clicked. I've struggled. I Nike dropped me in 2017. So having to navigate this new space of like finding my own ways to fill my income gaps. And so that was new. Having to leave practice, but go home and write letters and go talk to this person. It was a lot. It was a lot. And on top of that, I sucked. I was going
I think that's
I'm
real
like,
because
yeah, I have to write these letters. And I'm like, I'm struggling. I don't have any current accolades. I'm writing off the past. It was tough.
I think
And
touch
go
on
ahead.
something because I feel like as athletes, a lot of our self-esteem and self-worth is tied to
To
our
our
accomplishments. And the accomplishments right now. I can say I did X, Y, and Z so many years ago, but if I'm not competing well today,
yeah,
that changes my whole mood. And I think that's real that you said, on top of this, I sucked because that's how we feel. And it's like, you're an amazing athlete.
thank
You have accomplished so much. And yet there's still that like, well, if I didn't do well today, like who the heck am I?
Yeah. Yeah. We buy into that you're as good as your last throw or your last race,
Race.
or, and it's like, but I did it though.
Yeah.
Who cares if it was, So yeah.
I think that's so real. Like, but continue. Sorry, I just had to highlight that.
No, I'm glad you stopped me right then and there. But that's kind of what I dealt with. And I mean, it's still an ongoing battle. Just what do you do now? Being bumped off the team for Tokyo. I made that team, but we can move past that. But anyways, I made that team, got bumped off, and I go, had to deal with that. And I go, man, we're looking at 2 teams in a row now. For some people, that's not a lot, but I go, for me, I go, you go from making every single one to being literally right there every time. You go, what am I doing wrong? I'm thinking I'm on the right path.
That's
It's just a whirlwind.
high
So,
standards.
2019, I tried to commit suicide, and it was bigger than track. I just felt in life, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't talking to anyone about so I was keeping all this to myself and going to practice with a smile. Whitney House today going, living the dream. And I was dead inside. And I just go, I'm tired of this. I'm out of here. But luckily, that wasn't successful and I got help. I I reached out to various individuals that I could trust with this secret at first. And just kind of where I was, I didn't want to be here. I had to be honest about that. And so that led to counseling. I've been in counseling about a year and a half now. I didn't go right away. It was kind of like a family thing. And then I was just like, I want to talk to people someone who doesn't know me, essentially, to give me a different kind of perspective. And I love my family. It's not a dig, but most people you confide in that are close to you kind of give you you'll be fine. This is just a bump in the road. They don't understand or they don't validate where you're at. And I feel like that's the biggest thing sometimes about reaching out to a counselor, the validation of your feelings first. And
Mhm.
that what we're feeling is real and it's not to be brushed over. And our loved ones love us, so they're just very protective. So it's like, oh, don't think that. You're fine. And I go, I'm not okay right now. I'm not myself, you know? So that was huge for me. And I told my therapist, I don't care how healed I become, he's stuck with me for life. So just
Yeah.
at this point, I just enjoy it. I therapy Thursdays. I'm down to once a week now from 3 days a week. It's more like a check-in. I have my weeks, it's not always perfect, but I'm not where I was. I'm not where I
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
I love that because I think, I mean, obviously, I'm biased with what I'm studying. I want to go into counseling, and I especially I wanted to move into the space because of the stigma and the taboo. Number one, in
Mm,
our community as minorities, but then as athletes, right? The
yes.
ability to ask for help, but then not only to ask for help, to walk into the space and see someone that looks like us,
Hmm.
Yeah.
because we talk about like that relatability. And there is something about sitting in that room, or now it's, I don't know if yours has changed because I'm in therapy every Tuesday at 3 p.m.
It was so funny
Yeah.
because I've been low key living here to do this show, and Natasha goes, "Okay, I'm going to therapy," and like she says, "I'm going to therapy," so I'm like thinking she's gonna get in the car and go, and so I'm in the room with her, and she's like, "So you're gonna be here with my session?" And I was like, "Oh, it's on Zoom, of course. Like, let me get out of here. Like, let me not be in your business." But I was just like,
No, but
"Oh,
it's
I
truly
get so excited. Oh,
it is.
when Thursday morning comes, I'm like, yes, it's therapy Thursday. We are 1 or 2 o'clock p.m. That's usually my time slot, and I'm there 20 minutes early, sitting in his front room with my coffee, ready to go.
I love it.
I get
I
so
like
excited.
you get to go there and like be truly vulnerable, have your
Yeah.
feelings validated. Um, and as you said, there's still bumps in the road, right? But what I
Yes.
appreciate most, I hear people say, like, what is someone who doesn't know me going to tell me, right? How is
mm,
this person that doesn't know me going to tell me? And the biggest thing that I've learned is it's not that we won't have bumps in the road, but now I have the tools to work through those bumps in the road. Before I
Yes.
didn't have the tools. Oh, you're fine. It's okay. That doesn't help me. How
Right.
do I get through this moment if I just continue to? So I'd love to hear if there's anything that you want to share, because I'm also very passionate about that being a safe space, and you share what you want to share.
yeah."
But I'd love to hear like if what's the thing that like gets you so excited about going every week?
Hoping to compartmentalize. A
Ooh,
lot of times, everything kind of just got into like one big bowl, and I just was like, I didn't know what to take out of the bag at what time. That was
mhm,
very tough. So I've been able to, okay, I'm going to go here today. I'm going to do this today. Mentally, just in a better space. The second thing, obviously, the validation of where I'm at, and I'm not crazy. A lot of times we go, oh my God, I'm crazy, or we're embarrassed. None of that.
mhm.
All that. After like my second session, I was like, listen, I start the sessions now. So I go in, I'll tell my therapist, like, okay, this is where I want to start today. And it's so empowering. And he loves it. He loves that about me. He goes, he just listens now. And the third thing, I go, you don't go to therapy for someone to tell you. I actually got to hear myself for once.
She
I always say that, like, oh,
I
hold on,
You
feeling this
cannot
out
distract
loud.
that. You can't explain. That's a good therapist. I've heard crazy stories I go with, but if you can find the right fit, you get to hear yourself. And there's a lot of days I would go, there it is. We'd have those aha moments. And they didn't say anything. I was talking for a half hour and I go, that was all me. And then from there, we compartmentalize. What does that mean? We dig into the things that are a little deeper. I'm going to talk to you about this today. He may even have me do an activity or breathe or meditate in that moment, so we can kind of figure some things out. And I go off and I usually have homework till the next time. And I go, oh my, it's amazing. It's amazing. If you can experience that, it's really hard to explain,
Yeah,
Natasha, but
yeah.
it
No,
once you
I
understand it, when you start going to therapy and to hear yourself, you go, oh, okay, there's a
yeah.
lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it
and I
truly is like not like you said, like I have moments where I'm talking to her and I'm like, oh, well, now that I say that out loud, I do
Right.
hear, and that's truly what makes a good therapist, right? Like giving you the autonomy in the situation to figure things out. They're just kind of, it's a lot like what we do on the track, actually, where they're kind of like a guide and a coach, but it's really more so you in the driver's seat working through your emotions, figuring out. I've like remembered things that I was like, "Oh my God, I haven't thought about this in over 20 years, but look at how it's affecting my life today. Look at
mm,
how
There you
this is
go.
affecting my decision making. Look at, and it's just sitting there and talking about things that you wouldn't talk about in any other space, but this space is a safe and sacred space. So,
and I think it's so dope that you talk about it, and because, like you said, now that I'm in therapy, I'm like, I'm not crazy to feel this way, but I feel like, especially on social media, it's a highlight reel. So it's like
mhm,
everyone's like, I'm doing great. I'm on this vacation. This is my man. I cut off his face. So you can't see it. But it's like people don't sit there and say like today
Was a rough
today
day.
was a rough day. Today I made a pan of brownies and it was breakfast, lunch, and dinner today, and that's all I had. And I think especially as athletes, we're supposed to be like, I'm firing on all cylinders, and I'm eating right, and I'm sleeping right, and like I'm perfect. And then when I get into competition, I'm perfect, and nothing can phase me. And yes, this crazy thing happened to me, but I'm still gonna get out here on this track and give you these performances. And I feel like now we're seeing people in track and field, but in sports in general, like pull back layers and say like, hey, like I'm a human being and like I go through things, and sometimes I won't be able to like give my best because I'm not at my best. And I think that is important. And I think the fact that you share your story is important so that someone can sit there and say like, I used to idolize this girl, and I can still idolize her, but she's real now. She's like relatable. She's touchable. And I think that's awesome. And I also think that's also one of the reasons why we're so close. Because me and Whitney was a track friend. Like Whitney, we saw each other.
Is a track friend.
No, I'm saying she was a track friend, and now she's a friend.
Oh, okay.
I just
break that down because that was a
I feel
conversation.
like how it manifested. I don't know if you reached out to me. Something happened recently, and I hit another one of those spaces.
Yeah.
And I just tried to Corey on the phone.
Yeah.
And we weren't in that place yet, but I had hit a wall again, and I just go, Corey, I'm not happy. And boom.
Yeah.
I would just cry on the phone to her, and it felt so good. Like, okay.
So a track friend for me is you have people, I see you on the circuit, we key, hey, what's up? We talk at the Diamond League because there's nothing else to do. But when I get home, I'm not calling you. When I'm done running track and field, you won't be coming to my wedding, And Whitney, what happened was I think I posted something on IG, and you said, I think I was like, does anyone need prayer or something like that? And you responded, and something about your message said, call this girl. I just said, like, give me your number now. And then I called you, and you were in a state, and it was just like, from then on, I was like, I ride for Whitney. Like, I've always cheered for you, but I was like, I'm gonna be there for her because there was something, I don't know what it was, but it was like, we're here now. And for some reason, every time I call her now, it's like, she's like, I needed to talk to you right now. I don't know what you do. But yeah, I don't think we would have been that close if you had not have been that vulnerable in that moment. And that's something that made me say, I need to get off of just liking and commenting your pictures, where you are obviously being so great, and get into who you are as a person. Like get dirty with you.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. So a lot of times people talk about social media. I know a lot of track athletes are big on social media, and I post few far in between. And I used to always say I couldn't post a lot because I didn't want to post the life I wasn't living. So all this unhappiness through the years, it was really hard for me to get on there and just like put a picture of me smiling or being my uniform when I really, as an individual, wasn't happy. So like that highlight reel for me, like it wasn't a thing. And to this day, I'm still getting used to, should I post today or should I post this month? It's weird. So I'm trying to getting out of that and just like being more vulnerable and honest. But I'm glad you brought that up.
If you don't post, just to the photos, I want to see it for me personally. I hate to like put a pin in this, but I feel like we've really got to dig into this.
Yeah, and I got quiet. I just want to say my eyes were watering a little bit because you're not a monster. That was such a beautiful story. No, like seriously.
Stop, guys! I hate you. I hate you so much.
Corey swears that like there's a new emoji on iOS that's like a heart in fire, and I sent it to her, and I was like, "This is you," because she thinks that she's like cold on the inside.
I want to be.
But that moment that y'all just described, I was just like, that was nothing but divine. For you to be like, I need to call this girl, and to follow that, be obedient. I mean, that was.
I told you I love the people that we do our.
I hold it together, Corey.
I hold it together on the internet, getting, but I love Whitney so much. Like I said, you already know you need anything, or sometimes you just like need someone to call. Like, I'm here for you. I hate y'all so much because you guys really got real tears out of me today.
I told you we did it together. It's okay.
It's fine. We're gonna bring Eric in because Eric also will get me to crying. Oh, I hate you guys so much. I hate feeling feelings, but it's good, guys. Feel your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah, Gosh
I'm
darn it!
putting it on real. I'm holding it.
All right, let's change the mood. Let's
We're
change
gonna
the
bring
mood.
Eric
Bring him
here.
in.
His hand is
All right,
waving.
let
You
me
see
let
it?
me give him a little talk up.
Hi,
He's the
Eric.
2012 retroactive gold medalist in the high jump. We're gonna hopefully talk to him a little bit about that. Two-time world indoor champ, bronze medalist, two-time Olympic Games finalist, two times world championship finalist, the 2011 and 2012 NCAA outdoor champ. Between 2008 to 2018, I think you might have me beat Eric. I thought I was the make the team beast, but he has made at least one team every year between 2008 to 18. 10 times US champ, and
Oh wow.
5 in a row indoor, 5 in a row outdoor. I mean, come on.
And
Come on.
can I just say one thing, because I think this is so Eric knows, like, that's my dog. And when he broke his streak, right? Eric got third at USA's. He tore his Achilles when he got third. So in order to beat Eric, he had to tear his Achilles, and still, when he tore his Achilles, he was still up on there, even broken all the way down. He still was at his worst. He was still the best, and I just have to talk about my friend like that.
And when Moses said, if you're going to do it, I'm going to die in order for you to beat me.
And we're going to get into Eric Kennard, the
We're gonna
man,
get
the myth, the
into
legend.
it. Eric, where are you? How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. I didn't know what the mood was gonna be like. I saw people crying over there, and issues all out. I'm like, and then the character pops up. It's like, oh, you coming in now? I'm like, oh my goodness.
Don't
Hopefully,
do it.
And Eric knows I don't cry like that.
yeah, you're not getting tears out of me. I mean,
Cry, but I don't cry like
but no, it was cool to hear about your story, Whitney, for sure. I was kind of tuned in, I think, for the latter part of it, but it was interesting to hear about your journey in the sport of athletics, and where you are now, and the obstacles you've overcome that people don't even know are obstacles. It was great to hear, for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna have a little fun. We
Yes.
break up the interviews with podium predictions.
Hustle Clean podium prediction. Hustle Clean is a mission-driven self-care brand for the active lifestyle. Products are sold nationwide in Walmart and Target. It's athlete and Black owned. So go to hustleclean.com and enter the discount code TGS, that stands for Track Girl Summer, for 10% off. Get in the hustle and get clean. That's not their logo. I just made that up.
I love it.
At first, I thought it was a real thing. Like, I was like, yo.
I was
They were
too.
sponsoring. But you like getting the hustle and get clean, right?
Yeah. It was good.
All right,
Okay.
E, we're gonna talk to you, but we're gonna get into our podium predictions. Let me zoom in on our board here. We like to give our guests the opportunity to pick which one we're going to pick first. So today we are predicting the men and women's 4x4.
Whitney's going to be
Alright.
my partner, Team Corey. Eric's going to be on Team Natasha.
Who goes first? 4x men or women?
You want to talk men's first or women's first?
I'm
Women's
not gonna
first.
lie though. I thought we were predicting high jump, so I was ready for that. That's okay. We're
I
doing
don't know
4x4.
why we were going to, and then we were like, we never have time to. We never have time to do 3 events, but just be ready for the 4x4. Also, okay, question: if we're gonna do men's first or women's first? 'Cause I have a couple before we
Women.
get-
Women?
Okay, before we get into like which countries we think are going to get on the podium, one, do we think that the U.S. women, can break the world record?
I also
world
want to
record
point out, because
is-
I'm a part of history, we are going after our 6th straight win. 2016 was 5. We're going after number 6.
Olympic win. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was like 2015.
Okay.
You are so.
I will not. 2015 made me so mad. But anyways, right now the world record is held by the Soviet Union. It's 3:15:17. That's an average of 48.75. It's like 75-ish, 48.8-ish per leg. I think we have it. But do you think we can do it, guys?
I don't know about this time around.
Okay.
Why? Let us hear why.
Huh?
Let us hear why.
You said the
Keep
world
in
record?
mind, Yeah.
And who do you okay, time out? I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know if you can switch all 4 legs from prelim to final, but I think
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't know if because if you can only pick 2 legs to switch, we're not breaking the world record.
Oh, okay.
But if we could do our like, we can just pick the 4 we want.
What was the order? I'm sorry. The order in the prelim.
The order was and it was Caitlin Whitney. She went 50.7. Wadaline went 49.6. Kendall Ellis went 50.06, and Lena Irby went 50.34.
Lena is busy this
That's
week.
like the final, or those are like the prelim win. No
That
offense.
was
That was our prelim win.
Okay.
But we could put in my head. We're putting a thing. We're putting Sydney. We're putting Delila.
Yeah, that's in your head. Yeah, that's in your head. But
in an ideal world, but we know that that's not how USACF operates. Please
Right.
sit.
Right. If you were gonna say that was the relay, Corey, if you would say
Yeah.
that was the relay, I would say okay, yeah, they could break the world record. But
But I
They
think we're not 100% certain, but in the mixed relay, they did switch out all 4 legs. So I'm not certain if they're able to do that in this relay as well. We didn't see it happen in the 4x1, but that's fair enough
Is the
because the
same
handoffs were shaky.
Is the same coach making these decisions that made our men's decision in the 4x1?
so this is the kind of show we having. This is what we're doing.
All right. I was just asking.
This is a show we're having. This is definitely a show we're having.
This is what we're doing. Me on the
On several posts, Michelle has made it clear that she is the women's Olympic relay coach.
But who is the men's coach?
I don't-
believe that
I'm lower.
Whoever this men's
And I
coach
know
is,
things
have
were
the
wrong.
birthday claiming them. The men's Olympic coach is claiming the relay team like future claims baby mamas. Like he just like I ain't
Eric, you'd be a great politician.
Well,
He
I
is a
know, his
politician.
shame face is
He is a
like,
politician.
These
Yeah.
comments and questions is going like this, and he's just holding that stoic
You
face.
see me
Like,
over here?
yeah.
You see me over here? Like,
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Please vote.
You know,
Please
Eric's
vote.
fine.
right.
What board are you on?
Because-
Eric's actually a leader in our community. What's on Eric? I don't know why you can't say what you want to say because Eric unrecorded would say some things.
Exactly, and I know that if I say some things, people are gonna hold me accountable for
I'm
what
not even gonna hide it. I'm not even gonna hide it.
Yeah, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I know if I say it, you know, it's a thing. But I don't think that the world record would be broken by the women in 4x4.
Okay.
Based on the pool of women I think that are going to be available to run. I mean, you have to consider a thing ran rounds in 800. Sydney has run rounds and broken the world record in 400 meter hurdles. So even if you had the superstar team that was able to be, you know, the super team with Allison and Sydney and the thing. I don't know who else you said, Corey.
They've had
Delilah.
more than a few days.
Lila,
right?
that would be that's a lot of
Yeah,
running.
Only one coming in tired.
Allison will be the only one coming in tired, which I have seen Allison come in tired and still not give us a 48, but a 47.
She actually is one of the fastest split of all time. in the 4x4.
You know, listen, you talking about 2015.
that was a leg.
There's a picture of me and Allison where I'm hugging her. I literally in that moment I didn't know what she ran, but I said, "You are the effing GOAT," because I knew it was something stupid. That relay, we always say nobody can carry the relay on their back. Listen, I was just holding on for dear life on my leg. Allison carried that relay in 2015. That silver that we got was Allison's 47 split. Okay.
Yes.
I miss you guys.
And
miss you too.
so,
Those are my favorite years, in all honesty.
What year was that? You said 2000.
That was the worst. That was one of the worst years
I
as a
would
unit.
say from 14 to about 17 were my favorite years, like in terms of like the teams.
Yeah.
2013, I was a baby. I really remember that team. That was the Moscow team. That's where you medaled, yeah? Or you medaled in London?
Me,
Eric.
I didn't make it in London.
Oh,
Eric.
man. Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah.
I think I came in like,
Medaled in London.
I think
You were still in college.
Me in London? Yes.
You were in college, yeah.
Yeah. I think in 13
I
I'm in
remember
like
you.
5th or 6th or something like that.
Yeah, but those teams were so fun.
All my results will change though in the next 5 or 10 years. They'll keep changing, you know what I mean? So
Oh gosh.
you know how that goes.
Run from there, please.
I'm just saying.
He considered it. If you didn't know, he did consider running for mayor.
I did.
Uh,
Are you serious?
I promise. I thought about that. They don't get paid enough though. So.
You'd be great.
like,
do that
do
right.
not let Eric feel himself. Okay, if there's 2 legs, you're switching.
Do you have the lane assignments up?
No, I do not. If you're switching 2 legs, who gets those 2 legs? You put in. Allison's getting one of those legs. We know that.
Okay,
So
so if you legally said we can switch 2 legs, right? Based on who ran in the qualifying round.
I think we could see Canera on there. Am I saying her name right?
Quinera did not look good in the final.
You don't think they'll put her on there? But remember who we're talking about.
Exactly. And
so yeah.
Quinera Hayes. You know what they did to Quinera Hayes in 2015, and you think, I'm not gonna say this because I'm still mad about that.
Who's the relay coach?
Michelle
Freeman.
Mm-hmm. You put Sydney on, you put Delila on, or you put a thing. I think if you only take 2, no, I think really ran really well. I was gonna say we've got baby Vaughn.
Liam wants to come say hi. It's Liam's birthday.
Oh my gosh!
I think we put. I personally would probably put a thing on, but that would be.
I can see that.
And I can see
that.
That would just be me. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting Sydney or Dalila on, but out of those 2, it's about who wants to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, a thing has been running 4x4 all year, you know.
And he has been asking to be on 4x4.
Exactly. So,
her interview was like, I'm trying to be up in there. But I think Allison's going to be on this relay unless Allison's just like,
I don't want to relay, but I don't.
Do not put me on this relay. Allison Felix is going to be on that relay. Okay.
I mean,
we're gonna find out.
All right. So who do we think's winning this 4x4? I don't know. Whitney? Who we got for gold? I don't see anyone coming for USA.
I'm really thinking about it. I'll keep thinking 4x1. I was like, this is the 4x4. I think we're okay in the 4x4. Let's go.
I
I
want to also throw this out there because depending on what the rule is, whether or not we can switch 2 or all 4, there were 2 Jamaican finalists and 2 American finalists.
Yeah.
Everybody but one person in that final ran 49. So I don't think this race is going to be as open and shut as we think it's going to be.
Well, if you feel that way, make Jamaica your first.
I mean,
I'm picking USA. I don't know about you.
I'm picking USA as well.
No, but I'm picking USA as gold.
Listen, what we do here, we have to present the facts.
That's fine, and I present the bias.
I would say Jamaica second, and I would take for the women's. I would say USA, Jamaica, and dare to say.
I would say Poland for third.
Yeah.
Poland?
I would dare to say
Poland is the first Olympic champions in the mixed relay, and they have Poland when it comes to 4x4. They're the thing. They know how to do. I think USA, Jamaica, Poland.
I can see Poland.
I saw Poland, so y'all got to pick something else, Eric.
Okay, well, I just picked GB just because I know they're out there.
Great Britain?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, we're not locking that in.
We might have to lock that in because we got Netherlands is also
in front of me though, Tosh, or the legs. I don't see what you see. What are you looking at?
Now, online, are these the final people that are already listed?
Yes, the finals are like
where do you see?
Those are the final people.
It says Allison Felix, Kaylin Whitney, Canera Hayes, Ellis.
Oh, Ellis is the anchor. I like Ellis as the anchor. Oh, so it's Quinera.
Oh, how do I get back on it?
They locked in their legs.
That's gonna be right.
That might be right.
Where
are you seeing that?
Is it on
when
Olympic?
I know it's a little bit of a glare, but anyways, you can just put in 4x4 Olympic relay tomorrow's final, and then it puts all the names under each country
Yeah,
and
because
who.
you have to declare the pool. So
I think those are just the
But it-
pool of athletes, right?
I can't see past like the first 4 people. That's why I was like, I don't know if it's 4 or if it's how many are in there. 6 people are in the pool, right?
Yeah.
it's usually 6 people, but we're hearing that
1,
you can
2,
out
3,
all
4.
which
Yeah, I don't
eight.
know. After Alice, I can't see. Oh, Jonathan's.
Well,
Jonathan's.
the pool. So let me tell you who's in the pool. But I actually pulled up the men's instead of the women's. So give me a second. Gosh, darn it, Corey. Ads. Okay, women's 4x4. The pool is Kendall, Allison, Quinera, Waddley, and Caitlin. So we're not gonna have a thing, Delilah or Sydney on it. Does that change things? Does that change things? Look at Jamaica's pool.
I said no more records, so that didn't change that much for me.
You right about that.
Eric, where are you right now?
But does
You
it
never
matter
know.
right now?
We just like to know, just in general.
You in my
You don't have
business. I don't like that.
to.
I don't like how you in my business on camera like that.
I'm always. First of all, you're always in my business. Let's
I
get
knew he
things
was gonna
very
say that.
straight.
What did you say, Tasha?
Because
Say that.
he's like, there's the thing about Eric. He tries to be Mr. Cool, but like inside, like once you crack that hard exterior, he's a big soft.
Wait, how do I see Jamaica's pool? Why is oh you think
What
okay.
are you doing?
Okay.
So they've got
McGregor, Jenkins, McPherson.
Williams. Shout out to Stacy. That's slow nose. Stacy actually runs a really good leg. I don't see. I just.
What were this today?
The splits for Jamaica or for the U.S.
For us.
Caitlin ran a 50. Kaylin, sorry.
Kaylin
50.
Williams, yeah. Right?
Kaylin.
She ran 50.7. Waddling ran 49.6. Ellis ran 50.06. And Irby ran 50.34. Irby has been working.
I think you gotta leave Waddling on there.
Yeah. And I think you have to leave Kendall on there.
You gotta leave.
And depending on how Quinera feels,
I
you leave Irby.
it's crazy.
Tasha, you the expert. So
Because
I'm locking us in because we do have.
I think we do have the stronger team based on what I'm seeing for the pool for Jamaica and USA. I do think we have the stronger team. Where I am torn is by tradition. We put the best 400 finishers in the final. But what I saw this morning, I'm not sure that I leave Quinera on.
Yeah.
Only because this is a race that we can't hide anybody.
Mm-mm.
She didn't get out at all.
Mm-mm. And she was in lane 2.
She,
So
I mean, I know she was down in 2,
but she could see that the field was pulling away, and then like, didn't make a move.
and she ran 50.8, which is very close to 51. And we can't afford any 51 legs on. I'm not being shady. I'm just being.
Yeah.
I'm just.
these are facts. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know that if she's tired, but relays bring something out of people.
True.
So I don't know. But if I had to make the call, I would have a really tough conversation with Quinera.
And be like, are you ready to roll or not?
Yeah, and I would probably have to go with one of the other legs.
Am I locking this in?
Yeah. Whoa. Great Britain, can you pull up their pool?
Sure. I'll do whatever you want.
Renege on that GB.
They're in lane 9. I don't know what y'all talk about. They're in lane 9. They got Jody. I don't see it for Great Britain. That's y'all's pick.
Well, we can't pick Poland because y'all already got Poland.
Yeah, but I would pick. I would pick Cuba before it. Cuba actually has had some really good legs. You want? Yeah. I would say their PRs.
Oh, they got the 800 girl on there.
Cuba might be in there.
I like doing a little wild card. I like doing a little wild
So
card.
am I switching Great Britain
Great
to Cuba?
Britain is the wild card.
I mean, by the
I mean, you think Cuba? You think Cuba?
I like Cuba's chances because they have the 800 girl on there. She's run 156 this year. They also had a girl in the final of the 400 today, although she was DQ'd. But we know it took 49 to
They
get
said
into the final.
that top Cuban didn't finish the 400-meter final though.
Oh, she didn't finish.
So you might
I
wanna
thought she
stick-
was DQ'd. All right, we can stick with Great Britain.
I mean, we
Okay,
know
yeah.
the structure of Great Britain's like team, right? So we know at least 2 people have been rested the whole time. So I think that
Alright.
GB is the pick.
Let's get into these men.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
you,
it
only
is.
have, you only have
You
2
can
legs
lead,
to
sir.
switch it out. We only have 2 legs to switch it out. We're putting I feel like we're putting Rye on the team. Oh yeah. Is Rye in the pool?
We spent all that time debating.
I know. It's like we can just pull up the pool.
We could just pull up the
Right, the pool, yeah.
Let me pull the pool.
So while we get that up, for those of you that do not know, because we like to bring facts and bring rules to Track Girl Summer. When you sometimes it changes where it's like 2 hours before the preliminary, you have to declare your pool. Sometimes it could be a little bit later, but once the pool is submitted, that's it. There's no changing. You have to pick from those 6 people, which
Okay.
we thought it would be 8, but now we know that it's 6.
So Rye's not in the pool, which I think, whatever. We have Mike Cherry, Michael Norman, Vernon, Randolph Ross, and Trevor Stewart. Trevor split 44-7. Randolph Ross split 44-5. Bryce Deadman, he ran the semi, and he's not in the pool. He ran 44:08, and Vernon ran 44:34. You got to keep Vernon on. He's a vet. I think you put Mike in both the Mikes, Mike Cherry and Mike Norman on. And then between Stewart and Ross, it's 44-7 versus 44-5. Like it is.
So, let's see who Jamaica's pool is. Botswana looked really good to me.
I was gonna say
don't
it was my
know
favorite.
what their personnel is to switch out.
Okay. Jamaica has Nathan Allen, Sean Bailey, Bartley, Dimish Gay, and Christopher Taylor. Christopher Taylor's running well too. I do think Poland's gonna get in there. Like Poland always. Look, I'm never counting on Poland.
You in Poland, like you going with Poland for
And I think they have like doesn't Poland have like the indoor world record in the 4x4?
the men?
Yeah.
Since when? Did they break it in 2018?
Record 4, 5, 400.
Is it indoor?
Yeah, it was in 18. 301.
I don't know about.
It was Poland. And they broke the world indoor record. It was Poland.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell y'all, don't sleep on Poland.
Don't sleep on Poland.
So we're talking men's. I'm gonna pick the U.S. to go first.
You know who's not in this relay pool? Which it doesn't make any sense, but I kind of want him in the. I want Brett Curley in the 4x4 relay pool. I'm sorry.
They're not gonna make those type of decisions. I don't think.
I know they're not, but like me, what I want.
Yeah, I mean.
What we got for gold? Wit.
Botswana.
Oh my goodness! You said Botswana?
Say it with your chest. Botswana. All right, I'm gonna go with.
I don't think we're gonna win it. I think we're good for definitely silver or bronze.
Let's put our silver because I. Whoo.
Sorry.
Can I just say, I feel it.
I love them though, you know.
I can't go against the grain like that. I can't do it. That's not going against the grain per se, but I understand we've been objective. I would say.
I'm like, anyone taking out the U.S., it's Poland. Not,
the only thing I don't agree with is
Poland for first, and then Botswana for bronze.
No. I'll go with. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do.
All right, Bill.
We're gonna go
Poland.
Botswana.
And Botswana. USA will definitely not run away with it. Dang, Charmaine. Let us
And
know.
this isn't. We're not supposed to, but like honorable mention. You know, I like an honorable mention with Jamaica. So if Jamaica ends up on the podium somewhere, I told y'all so.
No. We can't do that.
Eric, it's our show. I get to do what I want.
That's fair.
I say
go.
Botswana, Poland.
You say Botswana, Poland?
You don't think your Jamaicans gonna get up in there?
I don't think Poland is gonna get in there.
Jamaica won't medal.
I was gonna say Jamaica, and not Jamaica for second, but I was gonna say Botswana, Jamaica. I don't think Poland is gonna. I think Jamaica didn't win a relay medal in the 4x1. I think it's wide open in the 4x4 when you're looking at like who.
What is your argument against Poland?
My argument against them?
Yeah.
I don't have really a strong argument. I know they did what? I know. Like I know. I'm not going for Poland. Like I don't have an argument against them at all. I'm saying who's gonna win the bronze medal personally, in my opinion. Like I think Botswana is gonna be a clear second, but I think Jamaica will like compete. I think it's gonna be more of a competition for third than it is gonna be three teams run away with the race.
That's your partner.
But Tosh, you want to go Poland? We can go Poland for sure. Like.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give Poland an honorable mention, and if we do, I'm gonna get on Twitter and throw your behind under the bus.
As we do here in Track Summer.
That's cool. All right.
Okay, we actually are on time today.
Are we?
Look at us. High five. Our guests came in on time. It took the third to last show. We finally are like on time. You're welcome.
Somebody said Christopher Taylor is a beast on the anchor leg, so Jamaica could squeeze a bronze. So somebody doesn't think I'm crazy.
It will be a squeeze.
You are shady. And it's fine, and we love to see it. Welcome, it's fine. Okay, so Whitney, thank you so much for coming to Traco Summer. We love seeing your beautiful face. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for like being open and vulnerable, because I think the things we talked about today are what actually really matters, not these predictions, like what we were talking about as far as mental health and asking for help and like body image. Super great conversation. Thank you so much for coming. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna get into this.
We're gonna have you back.
We are gonna have you back, and you're working for foundation now. And we're gonna get in, and we're gonna get into Eric Kennard.
We're gonna get into his business that he don't want to tell us.
I'll be in the comments.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So you've given everyone your accolades, and basically talked about how you have been the most dominant high jumper in our era, hands down, in the U.S. Period, point blank.
Well, thank you.
Like Eric has always been sure money when it comes to high jump in the U.S.
So we're gonna start off with the dark stuff.
I'm sorry.
She came back up on the screen.
Okay, bye again. I don't know.
Because I've never really heard you talk about this, and I don't really like to talk about it. And I know that it's like mixed emotions, but something you knew that was coming. In 2012, you won the silver medal, but retroactively you were upgraded to.
No, you won the gold, and your gold was stolen from you.
Yeah. And I think that, like in 2013, we won the gold. It was stolen from us, and then we, had this whole medal ceremony, and it's like this consolation. Like I'm supposed to feel good about this, but it's like the moment has passed. The money has passed.
Right.
Can you talk to us a little bit about like what that is? Also, how long it took for that to even be acknowledged, and
I don't even know that it has been acknowledged. I think I just found out that on the not IAAF anymore, World Athletics website.
Yeah, because I was like, why didn't Eric call me to tell me he got upgraded? Because you've been in my phone with a gold medal emoji next to your name because I knew it was coming.
Right.
I'm like, when did this happen?
Yeah, I don't have a gold medal. I heard they got them to spare though. They gave away 2 for first Tokyo, but I don't have one. So, and yeah. So although
Wait,
they're
wait,
So you haven't received your
Uh-oh.
actual gold medal yet?
Oh, y'all cutting up. What'd you say?
You haven't received your actual gold medal
No,
in
no,
like
I've received no medal or no like anything. I received a letter from the
a
USOPC
letter.
from the
You
USOPC, I think, like 2 years ago, stating the cast arbitration stuff. But officially, no, I received anything. I haven't received anything, a gold medal or certificate, any notification or anything like that. So I don't even think about it, to be honest. Like I don't. There was no like. It was all a farce. Like I knew back then, personally. But if I said something about it back then, everybody would say I was just being a sore loser. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that you have to be. It's not humility you carry when you carry something like that. It's just meekness, right? And it's not weakness. It's just I'm strong and quietly strong in the sense that I know, like, okay, I have been this person this whole time, and although I was not playing small, and the world tries to play you small, like it's just, like, hey, I have this advantage, and I know I'm good in this way, or I'm great in this way, and they can attempt to oppress, but it goes beyond recognition as far as or the limitations of a medal ceremony, basically. And I think that that's something that we all like. Even listening to Whitney's story about her perspective, and and the difficulties of compartmentalizing, successes and failures in athletics and real life. I think that sometimes we as athletes put our uniform on, and we have our superpowers with us, but we need to learn how to take the cape off and just kind of operate with humility and understand that, hey, whatever, there are worse and greater things in the world, like, you know what I mean, like, truly, like, it's just like whatever, like, there are no reparations in the world for any of us, let alone in athletics, as far as gratification is concerned about an accomplishment that happened 9 or 10 years ago.
I love E, but hate him all at the same time.
You
Same.
hate that it's me saying it. That's really
It
what
is.
it
It's
is.
really what it is
That's
because like I always joke with E. Like E is one of my boys. I posted a picture yesterday. Our opening ceremony memory popped up on my Facebook, and I was like, going back to what Corey said earlier about like having real friends. Like E is one of those people that like we've traveled the world together outside of competing together. Although I met you later on in my career, and so there's still like this. Man, you just a little young, but you speak like well beyond your
Eric
years
has been 46 years old from the day he was born.
poetically.
probably since the
That is
day.
one of the things that I love but hate about you all at the same time. Like, oh, just shut up. But
So
you I call it fake deep. But you said something that you said it a few years ago and it stopped me in my tracks because it made me think about the high jump in a different way. And I think in listening to how you just talked about that experience that I you have a way of kind of putting things into perspective. But like you said, the high jump is one of the events that you compete to failure.
yeah,
And when you said that, I was like, oh my God, you
That and pole
do.
vault.
Like you keep then the pole vault, like you keep jumping until you fail. And
right.
so it's like some of your success is also measured by like when you actually fail. And so if you could just break that down a little bit further for us, because when you said that, I literally was just like, again, here he goes with some fake deep ish. But
But it's,
it
it's
really
annoying because
does.
it's like facts, but why do you have to say it like that with his demeanor? But like
Yeah.
we can't even be upset about it because it's like you're
Can't be
right.
upset with the truth. I mean, for me personally, athletics is all like track and field, high jumping has always been like the space in between what was going on in real life and what I aspired to accomplish in life, right? So, like you operate like in that space, even on that board, right? To be a high jumper, you don't operate in, the gold medal space or the silver medal space or the bronze medal space. You operate in the spaces in between. That blank space of like, the beyond the comparison space. I missed here, but even though I missed, I can't even compare, I can't even think about or fathom this failure now because I'm right back up again. So it has to be this blank space again, right? Where I can kind of create or make any, action, whether it be a great success or a great failure from here. Because if not, you'll be stuck at whatever the height of the limitation of your mind is, really. Like, because once you miss, you after you fail, you won't be able to succeed. You'll only look at the experience as fire being hot, basically. Oh, I missed. Now I can't do that. I know I can't put my body over there because I just failed at getting my body all the way over the bar. So I think that you have to have this emotional discipline and kind of have this imagination that is it doesn't limit you to the comparison of yourself or the comparison of other people's accomplishments to yours. You have to be able to continuously increase the professional standard, like whatever the standard is. Like I have to raise the bar. You hate to say raise the bar because it's so kind of like so cheesy, right? But it's just the reality. You have to be able to like raise the bar continuously and not live with those limitations of your own failures or the failures of other people.
Aye, aye, aye. So, speaking of raising the bar, and talking about the high jump, which we've had a conversation offline, but uh, the high jump, the men's high jump in the games, we saw the Olympic gold medal shared and then a bronze medal, and there was like some confusion about whether or not like
It's even
can
legal.
you have two people share the
Yeah.
gold medal, and then we went and did some research, and it turns out that like it has to be determined before the event is contested, or the athletes agree to do a jump off or decide to share. And we've since learned that um, the jumpers, Mutaz and what's the Italian's name?
John Marco. John
John,
Marco.
which they train together, correct?
No, no, no. They're just friends.
They're just good friends.
Yeah. I mean,
They
yeah.
made the decision to share the medal. So I'm curious, what would he do?
I know what
I,
he did.
I
Would
wouldn't have decided to
I,
share
I knew that.
at all. Anybody knows me knows I'm not. It's not my natural first response. However, I do understand their perspective, and I stated that like it wouldn't have been in me, I don't think, to say, okay, let's share it. I think that takes great humility to do, especially understanding, what both of them can. I mean, John Marco's out there with his cast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's significant. Mutaz also faced the career ending, of sorts, injury and ankle injury. So I understand. And they were both perfect on the day. Like, if you go through a competition and you don't miss, you literally gave it everything you had to give it. You know what I mean? And to say, hey, let's jump off, it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, but the only outcome, like we talked about that failure, is that I lose because I've already gave it my best. So I can only get worse, right? Like that's the comparison in your mind. That's the little angel or the little devil that's on your shoulder in that moment. It's like if I endeavor to do this again, you know, I can fail. I've already succeeded thus far. I'm already a gold medalist right now. You know what I mean? So, if I gamble these chips, I can fail. Now I can share it or I can cope with the failure. Me personally, I'm a competitor. So I would be like,
Is it a failure though? If like you know that the worst you're going home with is a silver?
no,
Had
yeah,
golden hand.
yes, yes, because you don't train and you don't get that close and you don't remain perfect in a competition to say, I'm gonna get, I'll just settle for second, basically, or I'll operate with the knowledge of second being, an option for me. Right now, in that moment, you're a gold medalist, and if this person is gonna share it with me, then boom, we have two. I didn't even know they had more. I didn't because I still don't have a medal from a long time ago. I didn't even know they made them to have them sitting around like that. Personally, like I had no idea.
Can I highlight the type of competitor Eric is? Because if you watch Eric compete, when he competes, you can see him like talking to himself. Like one of the reasons why me and Eric are such good friends is I say I'm a psychopath. This man is crazy, crazy. If you follow Eric on Instagram, you'll see him like all last year and the year and even the year before, because it's been basically 2 years of training for the Olympics. You would see him post him training, and it's like 1, 2 in the morning, and I'm like, and I'd be like, E, what are you doing? And Eric is like, oh, that's the time I compete in Tokyo. I need to get my body ready to get. And I'm like, months out, this is what we're doing. I came to Atlanta to do a meet, and Eric at night he would put Eric you had an Achilles injuries. He puts pebbles on his stairs at night so that if he wakes up in the morning to pee, he's still working on his ankle dexterity walking down to the bathroom. This is the type of person we're talking about. So I want people to understand one of the reasons why I love and respect you so much is like you're insane, and like the attention to detail to your craft. Like when I hang out with Eric or talk to him on the phone, he's constantly doing something to like work on this. He's always like feeling his body and working on making sure he's, even when he's sitting down, he's working on Tokyo. And so I
The
understand
mind too, because
yes, he reads a
he
lot.
will, hey, check your mail. I sent you a book. Hey, you need to read this book. You need to get your mind right.
Eric and I start a book club every year, and Eric never reads a book, so it's over in January. But we start a book club.
I
But
never
I'm
read the book that she assigns to the book club. Yeah,
because you never come up with one. Don't play me.
yeah, that's true.
But what I will say is that's the type of person we're dealing with. So when you ask him, "Are you going to share gold?" No.
We already knew the answer, but
I need
wanna
people. I
know.
need people to know who Eric Kennard is.
Yeah. And it's not personal, right? Like, and it's so funny because a lot of people sent me DMs previous. Oh, y'all got high
Bro,
school.
Eric.
You know what's crazy? This is the year before. This is not correct. I don't think that's not correct. I think this is the year of the trials in 2008 in that picture. I think that's that's the year of the trials before I made my first Olympic team. That's crazy. I went to the trials there, but yeah, everybody was sending me messages like, "I just have to know," and I'm like, "You already know the answer to this question. You know that's the reason you're asking me because you know you wouldn't share it, and you want to find another person that wouldn't share it also. You know what I mean? So what is that? That's not me. That's what's,
So we want to bring it back to you, but we did get a question in the chat from Inika. Does Eric think Javon Harrison should pick one of the jumps or continue to double, long jump, high jump? What are your thoughts?
he should pick one. I don't believe he'll be able to sustain himself in doing both. I didn't think that it was a wise decision trying to do both. Uh, I didn't tell him that because you don't tell people that, right? That's something that you don't they have to come. I don't solicit like information or criticism of people and the decisions in that way that I don't know. Like, but I think that yeah, he'll have to choose, or he'll be forced in positions like he was in, where you really have to put your fitness and your body on the line. I mean, I don't think I watched the qualifying of the high jump. I didn't watch the qualifying of the long jump. That was the first time I saw him jump with kineso tape on his knee all year. And I've kind of watched him a little bit all year, so I think it'll catch up on him. It's gonna be hard. High jumping is hard on your body, as she knows, and it'll be difficult to sustain a long career in both. And we're good at, we have good long jumpers and depth in the long jump, and seemingly in the high jump now. So yeah, I
If,
think we
if
have to pick.
do you say he choose the long jump or the high jump?
I don't know. I always thought that I thought he was a better long jumper
So I thought.
than he was a high jumper. I think he is, right. I think he is a better long jumper right now than he is a high jumper. And I mean, I think that kind of showed a little bit, and how he progressed this year, and how things went at the games.
The
But
keyword
he
is
has a lot of upside also in high jump. I think he has upside in the high jump also. One is high jump is still just gonna be more taxing on his body though, so I'm pretty sure.
All right. And lastly, shout out to our girl Vashti, who was jumping with one blue lash. How do you think she's gonna fare in the finals this
because y'all are close.
Yeah. That's I have Vashti winning, but that's me, but I have her winning. I think that she's operating with she's been here before, and she has, hasn't competed to her standards at the games yet, and even at a world championship yet. I mean, I think that she has been competing at a high level, but not the highest level for her. And I think that she's looked good this year. I think that she looked good in the qualifying up until 195, and then she was able to kind of figure out the surface. So everybody's going to go on the finals with more information. I mean, the men's high jump qualifying looked the same as the women's, in the sense of everybody trying to figure out the surface and the apron, etc. But when it came down to the men's, it was one for the history books. So I think in the women's, it'll be one for the books as well.
Something we didn't talk about is Eric's also. It's funny because me and Eric have the same agent. We go for the same team. We also have the same sponsor, and which is, I think you're the only male track athlete that's ever been a Jordan athlete.
Yeah.
I know it's like, but I feel like people would like to know what it's like being a Jordan athlete.
Oh, it's good. I mean, it's definitely a exclusive club, I would say, as far as the company is concerned, and it's good to be part or associated with a legacy as great as MJ's. I mean, that's big.
Yeah.
Especially being 1-of-1, it's cool for me. As far as the bell is concerned.
Eric,
Exactly. Right?
Eric used to make me so mad because up until a few years ago, they really weren't making women's clothes from Jordan. And so I put on something and I would see Eric on the Instagram. Eric, they build their clothes for like long, lanky guys like Eric. So I would look like I'm wearing, the baggiest clothes and look like a little dork. Eric over here looked like a GQ model. I'm like, nothing ever fits me like it's Eric.
Well, Eric thinks he brings the swag.
Eric does have.
He thinks he makes the clothes look good. Not the clothes make him look good.
I hate to say this, but Eric does have some swag on.
Look at how he's sitting back right now. I can't.
It's like I know
you.
it's annoying because it's like you have to give Eric his props.
Yeah.
But it's annoying because it's like Eric knows that he has swag, and that's
look at him
like,
sitting back like somebody uncle. Anyway.
But you know what? It's like as much as we talk crap about Eric has been someone who has been very supportive to me and like has been there in my lowest when I couldn't figure out why I was
same.
Yeah, and he is a good person and like a good friend, and I appreciate you, Eric, in my life. Yes.
It wasn't that painful to say all of that, was it, for you guys?
No, Eric, I tell you all the time. So like, just stop.
I wanna bring the conversation back to you. Are you competing somewhere this summer? Should we're looking for you next year, at home, right? And what's in the future? Like everybody gets to hear philosophical E and see how the mind works for E. But then now we also know that, you may run for mayor. But you sit on some boards at USA Track and Field, and like, so what's in the future?
Are you going to school?
Do we see a coach? Do we see a businessman? Like, tell us what's to come for Mr. Eric Kennard Jr.
I don't know. Well, I do know. I have an idea. I know what I won't be doing. I won't be a mayor for sure, and I can't see the future. And for the first time, I think that I'm not focused on like a date or a process so much as I am an outcome, right? I mean, us as athletes, we always focused on like the Olympics is on this date. Tokyo is this the destination. This destination-based fantasy or work or motivation, and now I'm kind of just outcome-based. I'm focusing on growing in areas that I was deficient in, that I didn't, know the deficiencies exist. And I'm just kind of going and growing from there in those perspectives. As far as competing, obviously I don't want to end my career at fourth at the Olympic trials. Like I'm not. That's yeah. I hate to say my resume is not conducive of that mark, but it's like not like it's kind of demerit on the resume from my perspective. So, I think that my first competition will be USA Indoors, probably. Seeing that there is an indoor world championship next year, and I definitely want to use the opportunity to compete in America for a world championship. Last time we had a major championship in the U.S., I took bronze in 16 in Portland indoors. So I definitely want to go out there and represent, get on the team, and you know, get on the podium. As far as school, I'm considering school. I'm considering school, and that's a lot for me to consider school because I'm not
Right.
one who is a yeah. I'm not no knock to school, but I don't like going to school. I'm not very. I don't
But
like
so what
the
you
course.
consider going in if you're considering it?
MBA.
Okay.
MBA, yes. I have an undergraduate degree in business. So I wanted to get into psychology, but I think that I'm a little far gone for the pace of psychology right now. I think, you know what I mean? As far as like I study undergrad business, I don't want to have to take all the electives and catch up. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, you
sometimes,
mean that kind of far gone. I thought you were
yeah.
saying like psychology is I'm out of psychology's league. Like I already
Oh, no,
know
no, 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 no. Come on. Huh? I
that
ain't
that's not beyond you to say now.
Nah, I mean, no, it's probably not. If the shoe fits, for sure. But yeah, no, I just I don't have any interest in having to like how it is. Sometimes we get to skip steps and you get to go to a resource at this stage and you develop from this stage and I don't want to have to, go back and do the
I
real
love this picture of you, his little Burger King crown and NCAA's. Who do you think you are?
So, but I'm curious though, because you're young enough.
yeah.
Going for 3 more years, or
I don't know if I'll go for 3 more years. I think that me personally in my career, I've never been one. I mean, even in this photo, right? Like Corey is kind of a joke, but like you saying like you got on a Burger King crown. Who do you think you are? That's the year I won Olympic gold medal.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I knew in NCAA's there at 21 what the world just figured out 2 years ago. But I think for me, I would want to compete, but I also don't solicit support in that way. Like I think as athletes, for us in our sport, it's difficult to, maintain longevity for a variety of reasons. So we'll see. I'm focused on next year first and World Outdoors and the double championships or World Indoor Championships. But
And we touched
I
on
know
it.
a little French, so we'll see.
Um, we touched on it, but I feel like we didn't really get into like you also had to work your way back onto like learning how to walk, run, jump because of your Achilles injury. I don't know if you want to talk about that journey, but I think it's like as someone who saw it, like I feel like a lot of people would be inspired about like just having to gut it out. And like I know you said my resume isn't fourth at the Olympic trials, but the journey to get there was major and you had to push yourself and your not only your body but your mind. um and I would love just to hear your perspective on that because I think that's also one of the reasons why it might be hard to just like do 3 more years of this.
Yeah, I think for me, that right there is, I jokingly tweeted Marquise Dendy. He faced the same injury in 16 where he didn't go to Rio as saying like it was like a death sentence. That's low key like the kiss of death if you're an athlete, right? Like it's a rupture an Achilles or have anything going on with an Achilles. So it was definitely the most difficult thing I've ever endeavored to do was to return back to sport and I don't think that I even made my return back to sport um, as far as like a mental capacity and a physical capacity and even spiritually until I got fourth at the trials. Like I think I was endeavoring like to be prepared, like to like I think I'm ready. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. And then I think after being at the trials and taking fourth, I was like, oh, I know that I can still do this. You know what I mean? Even though I got fourth, like I was
Yeah.
like, I know. Like I was operating with the belief that I wanted to be able to achieve and do these things, and because you are like you have these confidences or these fears or this tension. I don't operate from a fearful space. I just kind of try to manifest the process for myself, but I wasn't sure about it until after I got fourth at the trials,
But I
and that's
think you said
like, oh, I
many
can do that.
times you said like my body failed me and as athletes like the one thing we can count on is our body.
Yeah.
um, and someone asked why did you determine in your mind to initially try and come back from that injury?
because I'm crazy.
I was about to ask, was it even a choice? Because
It wasn't.
now, yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't, I don't, because it's apples to oranges, but it is considered an injury to some. When I got pregnant with Liam, like it was not a
Yeah.
choice. Like
Right.
His life.
I'm still,
Just like Aries came out early, and he was like, the doctor was
his
like, "You're
kidneys
you're
were
gonna
failing.
die,"
You're gonna
and he was like,
die.
"Okay, and I'm going to keep running. You figure out how to keep me alive."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's not even a matter of you like. So the ability to believe in half faith is the strongest power in the world. So I mean, it's not really about like you figuring out how to keep me alive if you Aries. It's like, nah, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna live first. And while I'm living, I'm gonna be running. Like so for me, initially in that moment, I think I was back there. I even confessed it from my mouth. Like I remember I was emotional and I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, you can do whatever you want. Like you can still do this. Like, like you just have to, it's just gonna suck. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a long, arduous process, but it'll be no different from a 17-year-old,
Mhm.
accepting donations or washing cars or, to go to the Olympic trials at the age of 17 in 2008 than endeavoring to be, on a podium 4 years later. Like it's not any more probable than anything you've already done or accomplished. You know what I mean? So
What's your favorite quote again?
my favorite quote,
Hmm.
I don't know. What did I tell you it was? Because it changes the way.
Last
I
time we
wanna
talked, it was what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Oh yeah, that is definitely like it's that, but I don't consider that to be so much of a quote as I do like kind of lifestyle, like it kind of is a reality check for me in a sense.
This
yeah.
is my bait deep.
Yeah.
But so as we wrap up here, I want to, because you just said something that like truly taps into who you are as a person, but as a vet on the field of like tapping into your past experiences. So
Mm.
like
Yeah.
when you talk about like coming back from an injury, coming back from childbirth, coming back from an injury, one of the things that I always say is that physically, I am coming back from what may seem impossible to those who can't imagine it, right? But what
Yeah.
I do have on my side out of everybody on the track is those repetitions, those experiences that I'm able to tap into. Now, I didn't get fourth at trials. I didn't make it out of the semis, but I remember coming off that turn in the semis and like almost going for it. And like in my head was like talking mess. And it's like that same thing where it was like, this is not how my career ends. Like I know I have more in like there's that whatever that past experience that you're able to tap into. And Allison keeps coming up in the chat. I imagine she had past experiences coming back from a C-section to tap into to be the legend that she is. And
I
if
swear
you
I
could
saw that.
just
I saw it.
if you could just expound on that of like that's what makes true champions and like being able to come back and why a comeback isn't a choice because it's like I
It's who I
have
am.
I have these things to tap back into that gives me that edge.
Yeah. Well, like for me, it's about not being a victim of circumstance. Whatever the circumstance is, and so you have to like make favorable conditions for yourself. Like I remember when I ruptured my Achilles, and it was like, you know, um, I have such and such amount of days or time until the games or to prepare. And for me, it was like, oh, the one thing that I have is like the time to do this. Like, cause I don't have anything, I can't walk, you know what I mean? So it's nothing else that I have to focus on or, that I have to key hone in on, in this amount of time other than, what I say I'm most passionate about. Um, but as athletes, I think, and as people, sometimes we focus a little too much on the changes that we go through and not the things that we grow through as far as the circumstances are concerned. Like, so I read a long time ago a guy by the name of Sir Edmund Hillary, and he's an Englishman. And Sir Edmund Hillary, excuse me, was the first man to climb successfully Everest, right? But before he was succeeded, if I'm correct, he failed. And he gave a lecture about his failure. And in the lecture, he stated that, Everest had grown all it's going to grow, and I'm growing still. And that's why I'll succeed,
Like
basically. Like, and after that, I think a year later, he successfully climbed and, scale Everest, or and then it was like boom, like he knew that I failed, but Everest is Everest, and I'm me, and I'm gonna get better, and that mountain will stand, and that peak will still be the peak, and I'll go through, periods of growth and not just changes, which can be a positive or negative occurrence. You know what I mean? The glass of milk can be full or it can be spilled. So it's all about how you use the experience and the tools and the circumstances surrounding the experience. Uh, it's your experiences to grow. So that was too much. That was good. Not enough.
No,
We're
that was the
like,
perfect note to
ending,
end on.
I was tapping Tasha. I'd be like, we're trying to keep this under 2 hours. We never do.
Oh, yes.
But that was perfect. As you know, we love you.
You too.
Thank you for imparting your knowledge, sharing this time with us, doing the shenanigans with us.
Oh, yeah.
We will be in touch. And
Later.
we will definitely
Thank you for
be
having
back
me.
on Track Girl Summer.
Thank you for having me on Track Girl Summer. I appreciate it, ladies, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, Eric.
Later.
And thank you guys for joining us today. Be sure to follow us everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook. Follow Track Girl Summer, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can follow Whitney on IG, Twitter, and I think and TikTok. Follow her TikTok. Her handle is Lil Miss MISS Black Diva, and
She dropped it in the chat for
that
y'all.
I appreciate that. Whitney, drop in the chat if I miss any other place that they can find you. And Eric, you can follow him on at I think this is Eric. Yeah, it's Eric _ Kennard. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter. Definitely 2 really good follows. Today we went live with World Athletics. We watched basically the whole meet. We were supposed to only watch the 4x1, but we somehow watched basically the whole meet. So we watched the 4x1, and then today you can do, or tomorrow we'll be going on at 8:15 allegedly Eastern time. Because I feel like we're just going to 8:15.
No, it's you kept
8:15, so it's 9:15 Eastern.
Yes,
9:15 Eastern tomorrow. We might be on a little earlier, like we did today, but we'll definitely be watching the Men and Women's 4x4, and you can get our live reactions.
and see how close we came or far.
Happy birthday to Liam. They said, can you go get? They want to see him before we get off.
Okay, I'll go get him.
This outro.
Sorry.
But yeah, we'll see predictions. We're getting Liam. Liam turned 2. If you want to see his cute birthday photos, Natasha didn't tag me as a photographer, but I took them. I find it disrespectful that she wouldn't give me photo credits, but we took some really cute pictures of Liam for his birthday. I think we're gonna go to the water park. Someone says watching you 2 has enhanced my adoration of track athletes and their commitment. Today, I feel like I got a couple inches with these shoes, so I feel like I'm 6'3".
Here's the birthday boy.
He's hungry. Say hi, Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
2.
Yay.
Everyone's giving you love, Liam. So make sure you guys come back, same place, same time. And remember, no matter what time of the year it is, it's always a Track Girl Summer, baby. That's our show. And this is Liam, the birthday boy.
Hi, guys.
I'm so mad at Whitney for getting